everybody, it's Kid Catholic Season 2, Episode 10, and as you can tell, we are in a different set, whole new location. We're outside, it's sunny, and the lake is right here. Now, today's topic will be Pentecost, so let's get into it. So, Pentecost is 50 days after Jesus' resurrection, and Pentecost is what we are celebrating this upcoming Sunday. And so 50 days after Jesus' resurrection, in the upper room, which is where the Last Supper happened, the apostles and the disciples were hiding. Because 10 days before, Jesus had just ascended into heaven. Jesus had just left earth. Because after Jesus' resurrection, he was on earth for 40 days and then ascended into heaven. And so for 10 days, the apostles were hiding in the upper room because they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what was next. They didn't know what was going to happen. And so the Holy Spirit appeared on the 50th day as a tongue of fire above their heads. Which, I mean, when you think about it, seeing a tongue of fire appear above your head might have been a little bit terrifying, thinking that maybe it'll fall on you and burn you, but it didn't. And after that moment, they were encouraged to go out and preach the gospel to the people, encouraged to go out and preach the Catholic faith to everyone in the world. So not only were the apostles not knowing what to do when they were waiting in the upper room and hiding there, but they were terrified. They were scared because they didn't know what was going to happen next. Because Jesus just left and he told them that he would be back. So they assumed he would be back in their lifetime. They assumed he could come back any day, and yet we're still waiting his return. So they were really, really scared. And so when the Holy Spirit came down in tongues of fire, he encouraged them. He gave them courage to go out and preach the gospel to the world. And it looks like they did a pretty good job of it considering how many Catholics we have now. So you might notice on Pentecost Sunday that the priests are wearing red vestments and the altar has red cloth on it. That is because the red represents the tongues of fire that went above the apostles' heads. So now that we have the topic done, it's time for the Saint of the Week on the lake. Saint of the Week on the lake. So exciting. Okay, so today's Saint of the Week will be Saint Bridget. So Saint Bridget was married at age 13 to Ulf Gunnarsson. And back then in the Middle Ages, it was normal for a girl to be married at the age of 13. And so she grew up and she founded the first ever monastery for boys and girls. They both lived in separate buildings, but when it came to mass, or when they came together to worship, they would all come to the same place, which is pretty cool. Hi, boat. Anyway, so Saint Bridget is one of the patron saints of Europe, and a lot of people know her for the prayers that she wrote. She wrote a ton of amazing prayers. But one of the things that's coolest about her is that throughout her lifetime, throughout her lifespan, she had a ton of visions. One of the most important visions in her life was Jesus sorrowful, Jesus' pain, Jesus on the cross. And when she saw her vision, she looked at Jesus and said, "Who did this to you?" And Jesus answered with, "The people who don't love me." And so that's one of the things that makes Saint Bridget so cool. Saint Bridget also went through a ton of troubles in her lifetime. Her mother died at a young age when she was only 10, leaving her younger sister, who was 8, and their newborn baby alone. And so they went to be cared by their aunt. And what else is that she had 8 children, 4 sons, 4 daughters, and all of them survived infancy, which in the Middle Ages was very rare. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. The lake was great. Please like the video, click that red button down below, that way you get notified when I come out with new video. It says subscribe on it. Please put in the comments who you think next week's saint and what you think next week's topic should be, and I might just use it. That was Kid Catholic Season 2, Episode 10 on the lake, and I will see you next week.